Welcome everybody, my name is Brendan Snyder. Thank you for joining me. If you're new to my channel and you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please click the button for me. It would really help out. Also leave a comment, hit the like button. All those things would help support my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And as an added bonus, you'll be able to stay up to date on all that's going on in the world of music. Just like this, we're going to take a look at a brand new replacements box set. It's for the album Pleased to Meet Me. This was just released on October 9th of 2020. And the box set itself, it's got the album remastered, it's got B-sides, demos, outtakes, and rough mixes on it. And they're spread across 55 tracks over 3 CDs. There's also one LP in here. It duplicates 13 of the tracks on vinyl, but what's great is it's not just the album Pleased to Meet Me that turns up on the vinyl. They actually chose to do it as the rough mixes, and so if you already own the vinyl of this album, you're not duplicating that, you're getting the rough mixes on vinyl. And that's pretty cool in my opinion. Normally they would just do the album, the straight album on it kind of a thing, but you're actually getting some of the unreleased material instead. All right, a little history here. The band formed in 1979, but they disbanded in 1991, so they were only around 12 years here. And initially they started out as a punk band and then morphed and developed into more of a straight-ahead alternative rock group. And the band was comprised of Paul Westerberg on guitar and vocals, Bob Stinson on guitar, Tommy Stinson on bass, and Chris Mars on drums. And so this album here was the 1987 album, and it was their 5th album when it came out, but it was their 2nd album on a major label, the label being Sire Records, at home to the Ramones. And that was actually one of the reasons that they chose to sign with Sire Records. Kind of a cool story there behind all that. But so, you know, they're on Sire Records for this, and it was seen as the album in which everything was going to come together for the band. You know, but earlier albums were more looser and rawer and were seen as the band not trying as hard. But following the 1985 album Tim, Paul Westerberg decided that the band really did need to try a bit harder, grow up a bit, kind of a thing. And the album cover even mocks that. It shows the sort of young punks turning into the successful, you know, elder statesmen, musicians kind of a thing. And that's what's on the album cover. At least they were trying to represent with that. And so, you know, Paul wanted to move away from the louder, faster style music that their earlier albums, you know, represented more of. And this led to the band parting with Bob Stinson. And so later, of course, he would be replaced by Slim Dunlap, but that wouldn't be until the tour itself for this album. And so the band actually recorded this album as a trio, and it's the only time that they did that. And so the album itself, you know, in this case, the band was trying harder, but it's got a very 80s reverb style production on it. It kind of almost undid it for a lot of people. Now, there are 2 like utter classics on this thing. Alex Chilton, which is arguably their biggest hit, and then it's got Can't Hardly Wait on it as well. Just another fantastic song there. But what's great about this box set is that it actually shows you how great the album could have been had the production been different on it. And a lot of material was recorded for this album at the time. Some of it would turn up on for B-sides and then on compilations and things. But a lot of it, I mean, it seemed like it was going to be lost to time because they had been doing these reissues, these double disc versions, and not all the stuff had come out as part of that. Some of this stuff did, but it's really great that they've been going back into the archives and doing these 3-disc box sets, like you can see the one behind me there. There's a separate review for that on my channel as well. But they've started doing that now, and it's really great to be getting the bulk of this stuff now. So what's included here is we've got the Blackberry Way demos in their entirety here, and it features some of the final recordings from Bob Stinson, you know, while he was with the band. And if you listen to his take on IOU or Valentine, you can really hear what this album could have been had he stayed involved with it all the way through to the end. He puts a really great spin or some flourishes on that didn't make its way onto the album. And for me, I prefer the rawness and the passion of these demos actually over the final mix of the album itself. Now, of the 15 demos, 10 of these never made it to the album. So pretty cool to be getting these here. It's like if you put those in a playlist, it's like having an entire unreleased or lost replacements album there. And so 7 of these 10 are unreleased tracks of these things. We kicked this off with Bundle Up, and then Birthday Girl and Photo, and these next 7 are the unreleased ones. Time is Killing Us, Awake Tonight, Hey Shadow, Kick It In, which there's 2 versions of that on here. All He Wants to Do Is Fish, and Even If It's Cheap is the final one on here. And then the other thing that's part of this box set is rough mixes, and usually rough mixes for an album are very close to the final mix. Don't really add a whole lot in my opinion, but not in this case. In this case here, they sound a lot different, and they offer up quite a bit in my opinion, and again, making the album much more interesting, hearing these different takes of things before all the final embellishments and everything were added to it. And so in my to my ears, I actually think these rough mixes, again, sound better than the final album did. Now, of the outtakes that are on here, there are 3 songs that have never been released. Learn How to Fail, Trouble on the Way, and Run for the Country. And so, in the end, while this album itself only sold about 300,000 copies, it was critically acclaimed and has ultimately become a cult classic. And so while the label didn't get its million seller like they had hoped for, they did get this very critically acclaimed, cult classic album that I think has grown in stature over time, even if it hasn't quite equated to the sales that they had wanted. Let's take a look at this. So this is done like a lot of these are now. They're in these book style formats that match, the 12-inch vinyl style to the case and everything. And so we get that on the front cover, and there's the spine on it, and here's the back side. Sorry, getting the little color distortion there. There's the breakdown of what's on here, and then the listing for the vinyl stuff. And when we open it up here, we can see the 3 discs that are in it, and then this side over here holds the book and the vinyl that's in here. So of the discs, this is the remastered album, and it's got some rare and single only tracks on it. Then we get the Blackberry Way demos, those 15 tracks, and we get the rough mixes with some alternate takes and outtake versions on there as well. And then this here has the vinyl and the book in it. Let me pull that out so we can take a look at that. All right, so we get the book here, and then we get the vinyl. And so the vinyl just comes in this black sleeve, nothing special about it, but it is on really thick cut vinyl. It's a nice warm sound to it. And then we get the book here. And I wish this was either bound into the hardback styling of this box set, or it came in its own hardback cover as opposed to it just being flimsy like this. I'm always kind of afraid I'm going to rip it or tear it, sort of a thing, but that is what it is. And so what's cool about this is, though, that they it's done through interviews with the band. It tells the story of the making of the album, and the author behind this then fleshes it out with additional storyline bits and things in it in between the interviews and things like that. And of course you get some great photos and things, but I like it. It's done a little differently than just having a rock journalist write up, a history of the band kind of a thing. You're actually getting it from the horse's mouth, so to speak, here. And it's just makes for a little something different to get that and hear it that way and whatnot. And then in the back of this, you get all the breakdown of what's on here and when it was recorded and that kind of stuff. And that's the book and the vinyl and the CDs and whatnot. And so bottom line on this is that what at first glance might seem like nothing more than just your average demos and rough mixes and stuff like that, I think is actually so much more here and really has to be dived into and explored. The difference of how it all sounds, as well as hearing the development of the tracks from the demos to the rough mixes to the final thing, I think that's the power of this. And for me, it makes it all worthwhile, and I would certainly highly recommend this for all fans of the Replacements. It's a very solid, strong album as a whole, and I would recommend it just to general rock fans or people interested in the alternative rock world. Should certainly check this out. Even if you don't want to check out the box set as a whole, I do highly recommend go check out the Replacements and check out Pleased to Meet Me. It is a fantastic album, but more so the band as a whole is really worth exploring. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. I certainly hope you guys like this and check back, as I do these all the time. Everyone have a great day, and I'll talk to you all real soon. Bye-bye.